Support for this podcast comes from the patrons at patreon.com/FMLFPL. Okay! Milan.
Smash.
So the game's open, everyone's popping off. How you doing? How you feeling?
It's fucking Christmas Day.
It really is. Really is.
It's so fun when it opens. Just like scan every team, see who the vinegar strokes are, and just so good.
It very much disrupted
Everything.
both of our mornings, all of our days, all sleep patterns, everything. It's just like, even without fixtures, it's still just so good.
It's better.
Yeah, it's kind of better. It's kind of freeing.
Yeah, because you don't have like the 5 teams that are bad fixtures don't have to look at, right? We just look at them all. It's more fun.
Yeah, that's true. So, all right, before we go on to reaction pod, this will probably be a short one if I had to guess, just lads talking FPL. Our schedule is basically going to be this for preseason. So we have tonight's pod, then a week from tonight, Saturday, premium price pod. Then a week from then, mid-price pod. Week from that, cheap pod. And then the Thursday before the first match of the season, we'll do Thursday My Life, like the Patreon subscriber pencils down pod.
I mean, just for people who haven't maybe listened to those pods of preseason for years past, the way we do it is like when he says premium, we go through each position and the premium price, and then mid-tier and lower tier. Like we like comparing players in the price bracket rather than go by position. Yeah. So that's kind of how we do it.
Yeah, that's how we've done it for I think 2 seasons running now, and it's been it's been our favorite one. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Discord's great, popping off. Get in there. A lot of people join in preseason. It's the best time to join. It's the most fun time to join. And the prize league's up. We're adding more prizes, so every Patreon subscriber should have gotten the email or whatever. Get in there, sign up, more prizes. Let's go.
Yeah, it's all good. Support the lads.
Let's go, dude. Okay, so where do you want to start? I have no idea where to start. There's questions, and then there's just whatever we want to talk about.
Let's start with questions. See where that takes us.
Okay.
Because last pod we didn't do any, so let's see.
Yeah, we had a cheeky Raymond in the questions channel. Are you guys
Who's that? You mean
questions?
Raymond?
Yeah, exactly, Raymond.
Yeah.
Dan R, with midfield having much stronger options than forwards, but 0 good enablers, 5 and under. Do you start with 3?
That's quite the thing to say there.
Do you start with 3 6+ forwards, or do you completely sacrifice the bench spot to play 3-5-2?
That's too much for me there are too many things there. But first of all, 5 and under mid bracket certainly has some names, right?
In the forwards?
No, in the midfield.
He's talking about.
Oh, is he talking about forwards?
Yeah. He's talking about forwards.
Yeah, fucking
that's
forwards
why he's saying
are a nightmare.
Like you basically have to sack a bench spot for a non-playing guy if you're only going to go to less than 3 forwards, which is probably true. I mean, I haven't looked that much at the 4-5s, but I don't think there's any shouts in there, right?
No, the forwards are really bad. Like that, the cheap ones. It's really 6 million. There's a couple names, but otherwise it's just 6-5 and up.
Like maybe Keenan Davis. I mean, Obafemi is probably the standout, like maybe guy to me.
I don't think he's gonna play enough though.
I don't think so either. But
dude, can you hear this dog? Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I don't hear it.
That's unreal.
Oh, now I hear it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking Albus, dude. Neighbor's dog is going insane.
God, come on. During a reaction pod, you hate to see
Sort it out.
So yeah, I mean, have you tinkered with like 2 striker formations?
Yeah, well, that's kind of no. I've had 2 or 3. I mean, okay. I don't give a shit about the bench, right? Like having 2 4-5 forwards that don't play, or 1 or 2. Like I just don't really care that much because
I care a little bit.
Whatever. I don't care. It's like every year we do the same thing with the bench. It's like
I just want
put it on the
play,
pitch.
though. I just want guys who play. at least one or two.
I mean, just one is enough, though. I think like
It might
one's
be.
enough.
It might be.
One's enough. I think
Just a
so.
nailed 4-5 mid.
Yeah, or you're the defender, like whatever.
Yeah.
If it's if it's a 4-5-1 or 3-5-2 or whatever it
Mhm.
is, but I think I mean to me the most egregious mispriced player in the game is Werner, like by a
Okay.
lot. I think yeah, like I think he's so good and the team attacks and he reminds me of when Mo came in first year at 9-5, but he has more pedigree. Like
Mhm.
Mo still was coming from Rome and like I don't know.
He
I mean
had like
Werner's
a
like
breakout year, but like an underlying breakout year, not like a
yeah
30 goal year, you know?
yeah,
And
and I
Timo
mean
has
Werner's
that.
been doing it for years. I mean the German team like kind of ripped it up to put him up top. I mean he's so good, and I think that it's not going to be very long before he's in most teams, and it seems like maybe a lot of the community who doesn't stay too plugged into like other leagues don't realize, but he's like really good. And I thought 10-5 like minimum for him
I
coming
thought so
in.
too.
And I mean even like 11 I would have not been surprised because
Yeah, I would have been
he's
like, wow, pretty
yeah,
high, but
yeah,
Timo, yeah.
he could earn that, right?
Yeah.
And I just think it's really fucked out of whack that he's 9-5. So I mean he's like a 30 returner to me, and I think he's fantastic. So that's thrown my pre-cog shit upside down because he's 1,000% of my team with ZH, unless if one of them gets hurt. But otherwise, like yeah, that second spot, even if I go three forwards, right? I think there are still like a lot of forwards I like. Like
There's a
Ings and
lot of
Jim are both
forwards.
8-5.
A lot
The
of the
six
pricing
fives, yeah,
through and
really
through is like
kind.
pretty favorable for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
But
cheap
I
ones.
mean, let's talk about Kuhn a little though, because he's the cheapest he's literally ever been in the game for the
So
last decade. He's
so
been
when
in.
you were saying the most egregious underpricing in the game, like for me,
It could
it's
be
by
Kuhn.
far Kuhn. Because Werner, at least there's like a little bit of unknown, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's a new league. It's who knows what Frank's gonna do. Like he can play wide. Frank loves rotation. Like there's some questions. With Kuhn, there's just no questions. If he's fit, 10-5 is a joke.
Yeah.
Actual joke. We said, I think we even said exactly on postmortem pod, like he could be 10-5 or something with an
Yeah.
injury, and then it's
Yeah.
like a ridiculous underpricing. And that, I mean, he hasn't left any single tinker of mine. I think it's just
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Me too. Also, I mean, I have them too, and then a 4-5. That's been what I've been playing around with most of the day, and
Hmm.
I mean, we still don't know if he's going to be ready for a game. He should be because he was kind of touch and go for this UCL shit, so he should be. And
Yeah, there
I
was
mean,
talk about him
Jesus,
maybe making if they go super late into UCL,
yeah,
which lol, but
Jesus is just he's fine, but we watch the game today, right? It's like that's everything about him. He's okay, great work rate, like cool, bro. But like Kuhn scores for fun, and everyone says that Kuhn's bad for the last 2 years since they got Jesus. Like,
who
oh, it's
said
just a
that?
matter of no. It's like everyone says it's a matter of time. Jesus is gonna start getting more
Oh,
starts. Jesus is gonna get starts. Like Kuhn's gonna start fading away. Like he's when he plays, he's fucking amazing, and his stats are off the page. And he shoots. He's selfish. He's in the fucking pen spot. Like even if he doesn't have pens, he's so good. So
I mean, he
I
hasn't
feel
slowed
like
down even a slight sign at all of slowing down.
yeah,
So,
and even though he has been playing for a while and he's not a spring chicken, he doesn't have a lot of minutes in his legs. Like he doesn't play these 4,000 minute seasons like with international comps, right?
yeah, that's
Like
true.
he's always has a little hamstring. He always plays 2,500 minutes or under, every year pretty much since he's been in the Prem and shit. And he barely plays for Argentina kind of. So he's not that old. And I mean, 10-5 is I feel like that's going to be something where like me and you or like some slack, like he's going to be pretty low, I think, owned
I
in
mean, I
general.
hope so.
And I think he's going to be a big one for us, like in our folks.
Yeah, I mean, the cheapest he's ever started a season was 11. And the last time he started at 11, 13, 14 season, he ended at 12-6.
He's good.
It's ridiculous. Like
He's really good.
It's just crazy. I don't know how we started talking about this, but this is how this episode's gonna go. For those who
Yeah,
can't, who are not
fucking
like
fuck off.
feeling this energy, it's like this is all day for us. It's
And
just
and
okay.
it's so fucking good that people are like, oh, like Kane's 10-5, like, oh my god, Kane. And it's like no one's talking about Kuhn.
He just sneaks in there. He's just
God.
streaming like Fall Guys every day, streaming just stupid as shit, just hanging out at home. Yeah, I mean, I think you're the age thing. We can get off Kuhn, but the age thing also, I think he just conserves himself really well. Like he
Yeah,
conserves his energy, and so all the best players do, right? So
yeah,
not worried about
Kuhn.
him at all.
10-5, yeah.
Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And dude, you know what? I'm gonna pull the fucking clip from the postmortem because I'm 95%
Holy
sure
shit.
you called him 10-5, like exactly, and we were both like that could be ridiculous.
I don't remember that, but you can clip it.
I'll clip it. Simple mug. Are there any price brackets that you lads feel contain a single standout option? Armstrong in that 6 million and below range could be the real deal.
For midfield?
Weird question.
Well, I don't know about a single, but I think in terms of like the 6'5" and under forward spot, it's definitely Antonio or Wood there, right?
Oh, and forwards?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I
what's he?
mean,
She's
I've
was he
had
talking about in
Antonio
anything or
from the jump also. My forward line hasn't changed, and every single tinker, my forward line hasn't
Antonio
changed.
Burns and
And
Kuhn?
Kuhn. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
find all of them to be very underpriced in where I had them in my head.
I don't trust Antonio one bit.
I know you
Not as
don't
far
like
as I could throw
Antonio,
him.
but like the comparison with Wood is not remotely close.
No, it's not. It really, you're right. It's not.
It's really not. And we both really like Wood, and it's still not. So like, yeah, I don't know. Is there anyone else that even has like caught your eye in the 6'5" and under forwards?
Yeah,
Mitro?
Antonio's stats at the end of at the restart were really stupid. I don't know
It's a
what West Ham
fucking
were
joke.
doing. I don't get. West. I just feel like that's a trap, though. Like I feel like West Ham's a trap because they had such easy fixtures after restart, and they had everything to play for, and I just don't.
I
I
believe,
don't.
man. I believe.
I don't believe at all.
I
I
mean,
feel
dude,
very nervous about West Ham.
yeah,
I'm very nervous.
they had easy fixtures, but I mean, they still played. I mean, they weren't all easy. They had Wolves, Spurs, Chelsea, and Man United in there, which
Yeah.
Antonio absolutely destroyed in all of them.
Yeah. Oh,
I
God,
believe, but
Antonio. Yeah, no, I know you do. Okay, well, that's going to be a big one this month, Antonio. And yeah, Wood, though.
third in non-penalty XG per 90 in the season.
Yeah, no,
So,
his shots and his goal attempts, like he was like 28 shots in the box and since
absurd.
restart, like fucking insane. He had 12 big chances
Insane.
in like 10 games or whatever. It's like more than one a game. Yeah.
Is there
Yeah,
anyone else?
Antonio Wood at 6'5" and under. Not that
Not
I feel
really,
like
right?
talking about really. I mean, DCL came in at 7.
Kind of disappointing. Mitro's only
Yeah.
6.
I get the
I'm
like the
fighting it off
appeal.
so hard. I'm fighting
Yeah.
so hard.
No, I get the appeal. You know, it's sort of
Absolutely.
similar to that Pookie thing, and you know, he's he was really pretty young in the Prem last. So he was like 22,
He's still only
23. Like now
25
he's
now.
yeah. So this is like really prime of his career. But until we see who they buy, I worry about Fulham creating chances, and we know that Mitro can't do that himself. Like he's kind of a poacher, sort of a little donk. Like needs it on a plate, sort of. Like he's he holds up and this and that, things like this nature, but. Yeah, I don't think people are like, oh, Talisman, like he's going to get the points when Fulham score. Fulham look like to me they're going to go straight back down. Again, we have a month at least in the transfer. You sit there's more of Fulham. What do you got?
No, I just don't. It's like you say the Talisman, blah blah blah, all that kind of shit. That's true, and so was Pookie, but that doesn't mean he's good.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's good. Yeah,
like Fulham are second favorites to get relegated. And that it just I'm
who's
reminding
favorites?
Myself of like what we talked about on
But who's lower than them?
West Brom.
West
Brom are fucking
better.
evens to get relegated.
Oh my god, that makes me want to get Johnstone so much more.
More? Well, Well, yeah, because that team always starts like 3-0, right? Or
Yeah,
like 3
yeah.
wins, yeah.
Lossell, fucking
Actual only
Eckridge. Been
always
there before,
happens.
baby.
It always
Worst team in
happens.
the league.
But
Goalkeeper's got 50 points after 4 weeks.
it was I think it was postmortem, maybe it was pre. I basically have blended postmortem and precog in my head, but we were talking about like team performance and like weighting the preseason evaluation of a team to avoid the traps like Pookie, right? And it's like we're gonna remember this when some fuck on West Brom has like 5 goals in the first 7 matches, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, this guy's." We're gonna be like, "Wait, they're fucking favorites to get relegated and be the worst team in the league." Like
they're gonna come back down to like the level.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
wait, but the question was also about the sub 6 mid
we didn't
bracket.
answer any.
I don't even know what
part of the question.
We haven't answered any of the questions.
No,
yet.
we're just fucking. New listeners are like listening, like, oh yeah, that's a good question, and then we just rant about like Werner for 20 minutes.
We talk about Johnstone.
I don't.
Like,
it's a weird question. He's asking if there's any guys that stand alone in their price bracket, which I guess Stewie.
I think the idea behind the question is that if you have someone there that's bad because there's no flexibility,
thinking that's bad. But
is that the idea?
Asked it is like he sounds like excited by Stewie.
Yeah.
But like if there's no one that you can directly transfer to, that means
then
the
you're
player
stuck on an island.
less flexible. The spots less flexible. It's not good.
I mean, I think the 5, like, Stu, Supchak at 5, Saka at 5-5, possibly a thing. If Laka goes, I'm very interested there.
Yeah, it seems like Laka's gonna go.
Yeah, it does seem like that's building a lot of momentum. So I mean, I think Saka at 5-5 is definitely someone to think about.
Yeah.
5-5. I mean, Keita 5-5. That it could be his year.
I looked at it, but the Thiago rumors stay.
That's bad.
Yeah, they're back, and so I'm just like,
probably not. But I mean, that's enough for me. I mean, Pereira's still not in the game, but he'll probably be 6. That's enough for me. I mean, Potencio is 5-5.
I just think odds are like none of those guys are good. Stewie,
so this is something
Stewie might be, but yeah.
Yeah, but this is something we like very quickly talked about in chat earlier today. You're going to get more points out of a defender than any of those players, right? Like even if you have to go to Doc at 6, I mean,
0.5 more.
Doc's automatic
100% guaranteed to outscore all of those players.
Yeah, Doc is going to be minimum like 150 points this year, if he stays fit, right?
Yeah.
So the best case scenario for these mids that are similar, these 5-5 mids, is 150. And so for those reasons, it's probably not great to be there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think you're right.
I'm seeing a lot of like, so many good 4-5 defenders, and this is a good year to do that. And there are, but there are also a lot of good 5 million defenders. There are also a lot of good 5-5.
Yeah, there's just a lot of good defenders.
There are a lot of good
defenders. It's really cool how fantasy has like the trend in world football is like fullbacks and wingbacks and stuff, being like the fulcrum of creativity, and fantasy has like followed suit in an interesting way. It's like big up the back and all these fullbacks and shit. Yeah, I mean, I just look at Grealish, right? If we're talking about 150, he was main man, talisman, etc., captain, leader, legend, 8 goals, 7 assists, played every second of every game, finished on 149. Like, are any of those guys gonna come close to that? Like, it's.
I mean, 7-7's not that.
No, it's nothing special. But he played 3,200 minutes. Was really good on bonus. That's peak. That's like, I don't know.
And 150, but that's also to be said. I mean, 150 is good from that price point. Like, if you have a 5-5 player getting 150, I mean, I'm pulling Doc out, right? He's like the best one.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're looking at the other 5-5 guys, like from last year, they're more in defense, right? They're more in the like 120 to 130 range. So, if you do hit that 150 from the 5-5 mid, then you're really happy.
Yeah.
But, it's also, we're not holding anyone for 38 game weeks here. So, we'll wait to see the fixtures, but those names, like if they have a few good fixtures, you could start there, and if it enables things, and if you like the rotation in your defense, like I definitely think that that's a bracket that you're okay to have a spot in.
I mean, I've had Stewie in a ton of tinkers. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, he's 5.5 is a good price for him. We have to see if they buy. And I forgot to look. I needed to do a little more looking about Gineppo. I don't know what kind of
yeah.
where's he going to play? Like, is he going to threaten Redders
Yeah, I think
or
so.
is that the spot for him?
Yeah, I think
But
the
he played on the
left
right. He
attacking
played on the
mid.
left. Okay.
Yeah, because I remember Anka was comparing him to like Mane, which is a stretch, but like cutting in on his right foot goal scorer type of guy.
Yeah.
So I think he comes from the left there.
Okay.
But
I mean, Stu at 5.5, right? It's the same thing that we saw last year. It's like he has that free roll. The team's good. They press well. They're going to score, like best of the rest. Good underlying team attacking stats. Yeah, 5.5. There's a lot to like.
his stats are very solid. You know, he didn't play
Yeah.
a lot of minutes. Yeah.
I mean, realistically, there are just so many midfielders to choose from.
I know. To be
There's
honest,
just so many.
I haven't even gotten through them all. No chance. Like,
Yeah, no, I haven't
it's been
really
so
looked
like
at them all either.
scattered today that I've just gone
Yeah.
with like guys I know I like and stuff, and I haven't even
Yeah.
scanned every team.
Yeah. No, I hear
Eric
you.
B, I don't normally consider effective ownership this early in the season, but is it reasonable to consider it for clean sheet shares? For example, if Pool and Wolves have good opening fixtures, clean sheet shares for those teams could easily be over 100 for involved managers. So does that favor defensive double ups over looking elsewhere for defenders?
It's never advantageous to pick your players based on ownership percentage. Like, you need to look at yourself as a manager and what you're analyzing and what you prefer and what you like. And if you think that having 2 or 3 defenders is better than having one from a team, then you do that because that's the reason, not because the herd or the sheep are doing it also.
Yeah, I think I agree. I was going to say the only time that it comes into play for my thinking is like maybe captaincy.
Yeah, maybe captaincy. If you think it's like a knife's edge,
yeah,
and you want to do the thing that's a little more riffy, like okay, cool, like you take that risk. But in this case, when you're just sculpting and creating your team, it's too much. It's too much.
Although I should say, like we're talking about underpriced players, like I'm very surprised Trent is 7.5 and he's already at 56% ownership.
Well, he should be higher. I think it's. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't going in the auto pick
come
teams.
Out though.
It doesn't matter.
Good. He's gonna just keep going up and up. I think
it doesn't matter. Well, talking about Trent, I don't really want to talk about Trent, but Robbo at 7 and Van Dijk at 6.5 is. I mean, that's kind of we expected those two at those prices.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at them compared, like what they did the last 2 seasons, right? The title-winning season, the one before when they were, right there.
Yeah.
And why would we not have like all of them or 2 in Mo? Like, what's the argument against?
There's a question
because I couldn't figure it out.
There's a question exactly on this. So let me read it. This guy's username is Mourinho is Illuminati. So that take that as you will. But
I like it.
Yeah, thoughts on TAA, Robbo, and VVD triple up. They score higher than almost any other player at their price point, and easier to predict than the other 6.5 to 7.5 assets, not counting Foden maybe, and should get more points than any other defender. Yeah, he knows he's targeting me right now.
Okay.
He said you then couldn't get Mo/Mane, but there are other players at their prices that are comparable, unlike the defenders. This feels more like an extreme version of something y'all talked about on the post-mortem pod. Not transferring defenders. Any good arguments against this?
No, I don't have one, honestly.
I mean, flexibility is like the only thing that immediately comes to mind.
But flexibility, what and how though?
Okay, so this rubs up against the like capping TAA is just as good as capping Salah and Mane argument, which
fair, yeah.
We haven't gone deep into, but it's something we've talked about. But like, okay, Liverpool have home Leeds, home Fulham, away fucking Dick, next 3. And
Dick's a tough one. The first 2 are good though.
Yeah, I mean, away Dick is not easy, but you still expect Liverpool to come away with the points there. And everyone else is like capping Mo or Mane. Are you limiting your own ceiling by going with your City guy or
no? Because Werner's playing fucking
maybe
asshole, right?
Yeah,
And
maybe.
Asshall's a good team, but you expect Chelsea to come away with the points there. This is the same thing like Eric's question is, are you picking your team based on, damage limitation, or are you picking your team
It's not the
based on
same though, because Mo
it's
and
similar
Mane are
concept?
the highest scoring guys pretty much every year, except for like Kev last year. I
Yeah,
mean,
but if you think Kev Raz are going to do the same shit, then that's the same thing. If you don't expect any of the defenders to touch,
but
Trent, Robbo,
yeah,
Van Dyke, like they're going to be top three,
I
like for
just
sure.
don't want like this is another like post-mortem thing, right? I don't want to be spending transfers on my 6'5" forward. I want to be actively spending my transfers on Raz to Mo for these 3 games and then back. I'd
Yeah.
rather spend my transfer on that.
All right. That's true. That's a good one. That's a good one.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's wrong. I mean, a thing that you and I think hammer home than other people in FPL is that there's no one essential and there's a million ways to win the game.
I think Trent is actually essential. I think you're really, really
Pretty much.
fucked if you don't start with him based on the
Yeah,
price,
yeah, okay,
the
fair.
outlook. Like I think I think maybe the first time ever, I think there's absolutely no tenable, reasonable
Really
argument to
isn't.
not start with him
Really
at
isn't.
all. Like
Yeah,
not
really
at
isn't.
all. I just don't imagine. I don't see it.
Yeah, not at all.
But other than that, for sure with what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea, and I think it's something that I should actively play with, and I think I will.
Yeah, I haven't that much yet,
I
but I
haven't either,
also,
but
yeah.
it is interesting. I mean,
I mean,
starting
I have
just
Trent and
starting
Robbo.
just Trent Robbo double barrel.
I mean, I did that
How
last year though, and it was a fucking nightmare. It was
Yeah, I
like it
mean,
tanked
last
my
year was
season.
fucking weird. I mean,
I know,
Allison
but
gets
it's
injured
still.
in game week 1.
I know, but it's. I don't forget. I don't forget.
Yeah, you don't forget.
It
No one
was
forgets
bad.
that.
It was
Yeah.
really bad. It like held my team hostage, and it was just really bad.
And then right when you got rid of them,
Robbo, he had fucking a million points, of course,
we know what happened
obviously.
next, folks. Um, Ben Urphy, what's your biggest price surprise and biggest price disappointment?
I mean, Werner's. It's insane to me that they put him at 9.5. It's actually insane. I would love to see why.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to read 3 paragraphs. This is why he's 9.5. It just makes no sense.
Yeah, the
I
only
think,
like
yeah,
argument for it that I can even come up with is like if they think he actually might play like wing or something.
which is not really.
Well, because he's done it a lot at Leipzig, like in a weird, wide forward thing or something. It hasn't really hurt his numbers. I mean, it's
That's the
not.
thing is, okay, that's like, oh yeah, Obbs, like he played on the wing for the whole fucking year. He still had 200 plus points,
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't
Well,
understand it at all. I'm definitely
um,
disappointed in the
Bob,
Bob's
Bob,
price.
yeah.
That's dumb.
Also, there's no real argument there. Like, how are you putting the player at 9.5? Jim, 8.5. What? Bob's like never had as many points as Jim in his career. And Jim's done it twice, like in a row, and he's a million less or something. Like, I thought Jim was really kind. I didn't expect. I thought Jim was going to come at 9.5.
Yeah,
I
the
was
9
really,
or 9.5 for sure.
yeah, 8.5. 8.5 really surprised me there, and I haven't played with putting him in the team or
Me
anything
neither.
yet. And
But it is
I
very
might.
favorable. Ings too,
It's yeah,
8.5.
yeah. That was fine. Like Ings, we were worried he would be even more than that, and
Yeah.
you're definitely paying for what you're hoping to get with Ings. Like it's going to probably take a little bit for him to out earn 8.5, but even that at 8.5, someone who's reliable
Yeah.
and who probably like more maybe like 175 point range this season than like he almost hit 200 last. That's still fine,
Yeah.
and if they have good fixtures, like he's the kind of guy with Southampton that you could maybe honestly almost like reminds me a little bit of Vardy, like the kind of guy that just
Yeah.
makes the best of his not insane quantity of chances,
Yeah.
but just as a good finisher
Yeah, and
and
just like
just a steady
harasses keepers,
returner.
harasses
Yeah.
backlines.
I mean, he could do it again. He could score 20 plus
Absolutely.
again. Yeah, he's good. If he's as long as the fitness is there, he's
Yeah.
the team is right for Ings. I do like Ings still at 8.5.
Yeah. I think we've covered most of the like surprising prices.
I thought Ziyech would be 8.5. I'm happy he's 8. It gives me
Happy
an
is
extra point
it.
5 to play
I
with.
was really surprised about Antonio.
Yeah.
I'm pretty. What do you think about
Well,
Obbs? I
Foden,
was
man.
pretty like when I saw Obbs mid 12. I was like, ugh, that's like really harsh. Like, and I don't think many people are gonna own him. What do you think about his price?
I think it's fine. I don't have any problem with it. He scores 200 points every year, and
Yeah.
I mean, maybe his upside isn't like that great Mo year. It's not the main problem with odds is you're comparing him against Mo, Raz, Kevin. Like he's never
That's
going to
the
be.
problem.
That's the problem.
He
You
plays
know,
on
he's never
Arsenal
going
and
to.
they play on Liverpool and Manchester City.
Yeah. So unless if Laka goes and he does start playing centrally, and then maybe he could hit a 30-goal season. You know, if they get a few extra pens and he's just slotting and they're doing it.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. I don't really have a problem with the price. He could have been 11, you know, or 11.5, sure.
11.5 I thought would be more fair.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to entice players because he's out of position after their first year, and he's just, you know what you're getting with him. You know, it's just like fucking peanut butter and jelly. Like it's just 12. You know, he's going to get you points when you don't expect it. You're going to be disappointed if you captain him, and you're going to be happy if you hold him and sad when you sell him after a few blanks and he pops up with 16, kind of a job. So
right.
I feel like it's fine as well. But we also haven't talked about Foden, which is kind of criminal how we have gone this long.
Foden and Greenwood, two guys we talked about also on Postmortem, I think.
Yeah, two guys who haven't left my team.
I mean, I remember the thing that I said about both of them, and you agreed, was like, I don't see a world where they're not underpriced, because anything under like 9, I basically consider underpriced. You know, assuming like United don't buy someone and we are led to believe that Foden's first choice for City, which, I mean, he didn't start today, which wasn't great for his stock, but yeah, I mean
Foden
6'5".
Yeah, Foden at 6'5".
8'5".
Yeah. It's the kind of thing, you know, he's not going to be nailed, probably like Mahrez wasn't nailed last season. And Mahrez still got fucking 5,000 returns, right, in 2,000 minutes.
Yeah.
If Foden plays 2,000 minutes, which he probably will do in the league, then he should be able to hit a lot of points. And 6'5" is ridiculous.
It's really ridiculous.
Unless
they have
nuts.
some insider knowledge that we don't have, that Foden's just straight up going to be a backup again.
Yeah, no, I think it's just nutso. And it's also Pep. Every time he doesn't play Foden, they lose. So winning is good.
I don't know. Hopefully that whatever happened today just means that lineup's never going to happen again. But
it'll definitely happen again.
Pep will continue to pep despite the pepping. And then Greenwood 7.5 too. I mean, Sancho far from a done deal. It keeps being like rumor, not rumor, not rumor.
I mean, the thing with United, they play tomorrow or whatever. It seems pretty. If they win that, right, they're probably going to be blanking, so we'll be able to play around there more. But if they don't, they're in game, Greenwood at 7.5 just feels overthinking. If you go anywhere else, unless if we're going to, like, sure, okay, but Greenwood at 7.5 is just going to be. He's like Tony last year. He came in same price, 7.5 mid. He has brace potential, right? There aren't a lot of mids that have brace potential in that under 12 million or whatever.
Yep.
And he's one of them. Same with Foden, right? Like those are the kind of guys who, when you hit a 15-pointer on your 7 million mid, you're having a fucking 100K green that week at least. And those are the kind of players that you want to put on your team. So, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, the only thing, I don't have Foden in my current Tinker. I mean, we're weeks away from final Tinkers. Because I just struggle so much with I have all 3 of the big city guys. And I just struggle so much with who wouldn't I have.
Yeah, I mean, if I wasn't married to Ziyech, then I would be playing more with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I just feel like when you're looking at a 4 or 5 million savings from Kuhn, Sterling, or Kevin, whichever one of those guys you don't have to Foden, it's just, that's obvious.
No, I know. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just an obvious
But then as soon as I take one of those guys out, I'm like, am I starting without this guy? Fuck.
Well, that's what, I mean, Mo is still a really safe, good guy. He's, that his floor is 200 points, right?
Yeah.
When we look at the other guys like Raz, I guess Kevin too, to an extent. I mean, he doesn't have to improve to hit two. Like he had 250 at 13 goals, never done that before. But the assists in the 20 range should be there.
Yep.
And if he has like 10 goals, like his floor is 200 points as well. But otherwise, like Raz, he came and went, and he was really bad for 70% of last season. And when Kuhn went down, Jesus came and he started playing better. There are questions around like those types of guys. So,
that finish today,
Mo's good.
though, Raz.
Well, yeah, that you really want that. And so with Obbs, like 200 floor, all these guys have that high floor. So
yeah, I mean, Raz has the floor. They all have the floor.
yeah, they all do.
It's just hard. Yeah.
It's hard.
So that was Ben's question, I guess. We just went off. God, we're just popping off on all these questions.
I don't remember what the question was.
I don't want to.
It was probably great.
Yeah, Do It said, thoughts on going without a pool mid, maybe having only one premium mid and spreading out the funds a little more. That strategy never works, right? I feel like it's always like tempting, but like having one premium and then a bunch of like nines.
Well, there just aren't that many, I think, this year that works. I think two's easy. It's really easy to have two, especially when, like after Trent, you can just go with 4 or 5s or whatever and be okay back there.
Two is very easy. I squeeze in like 3-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like you're skimping a little too much otherwise, but a lot of that's going to also play on the fixtures, right? Like if you're good on captain with 2 for the first 6, then you're good on 2, and if you spread around and it looks better, then go for that.
Yeah.
If you don't need that third guy, but having no pool mid, I don't think is bad. Again, it's all of these guys that are priced like the 11 to 12 million guys. They're all great. And they're all probably going to get 200 points if they're fit. So
and there's more than ever.
Yeah, there's like 6 guys. There's Mo, Mane, Raz, Kevin, Obbs.
And that's just mids.
That's just mids. Yeah.
There's a lot of guys, a lot of very good guys.
It's going to just be about if you get lucky with captain. Like, that's going to be the who's in the top 10K and who's in
like scheduling
300K.
Your captains.
And hitting, right?
Hitting on the runs of fixtures where Kuhn starts 3 in a row against the bottom teams or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like the home Newcastle game where everyone caps a City player and Raz gets 2 points and Kevin gets 13. It's like, oh, shit. Yeah. Right, that's going to be the thing, I feel like, in the beginning of the season. Yeah, that'll happen a lot.
Kev, my nemesis last season. Chucky, assuming an early game week 3 or game week 4 wild card is the plan, should you go all in on fixtures or still have a couple guys who are great long-term picks, but maybe have meh fixtures? Well, neither of us have ever done that, right? We've talked about it a lot, but we've never actually done it.
I've never done that.
So I don't really know what the move is.
We need to know. We just don't know enough yet. The thing every year that plays against it for me are the teams that have the good fixtures are teams that I don't like. Like last year was Bournemouth, and okay, like Callum Wilson was getting fouled for fucking set piece goals every week, and he got points every week. But they're like, I didn't want any piece of any of those players, and so I've always found like a problem with those things. For some reason, but I like just having the good guys, and I don't really pay attention to fixtures.
Team that differently, just in my head. Yeah. Like I think you mainly go with like the guys you really like, and then the maybe your 6'5" forward is Wood instead of Antonio.
Yeah, if it's like I like that. I agree. I mean, it's also just the way that the prices are laying is, you can really like monster pile up on 3 or 4 teams and like fill your 11.
Yeah.
And be like the fixtures don't matter when you have City attack, Chelsea attack, Liverpool D, Wolves D, right? It's like you can build your team with like all the Man United attack with all of those players and not have to even really worry about fixtures.
Yep. We're in for a doozy. Fearizer, I guess is how you say that. Is Kane at 10.5 still too expensive? He's got a lot of competition. That's basically the end all be all, right? It's like if they have nutty fixtures, maybe I'll consider it. I'm not considering it yet. He's the same price as Kuhn. It's a joke.
It's just I'm so far away from Kane.
The thing with
It's
Kane is,
ridiculous.
right, it's like if you told me before the price came out, I mean, before all of the prices came out, Kane's going to be 10.5, I would have been like, oh, he might be good. Like, because I expect Werner to be 10.5 or 11. I expect Kuhn to be 11.5 or 11. You know, like all of these other guys to be much higher. And then,
Yeah.
like, Kane comes in under, could be sneaky, could be good. But now
Yeah.
it's like, ugh.
No, that's important to think of it relative to the competition, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a really important thing because yeah, that makes it not sound good. And it's still just the Mourinho attack. And, we see him just these random games where he's playing DM and shit. Like we never know when that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And they don't create that much. They just don't create that many chances. So, I mean, him 25, 30 goal seasons, I think are just not going to happen again.
Dude, Werner is 9.5.
I am telling you, dude, people don't realize how good he is. It's a problem.
It's not a problem. It's the
Well,
opposite of a problem. That's incredible for us.
he's 35%. Like he should be like 50. Like he should be in the 50. He should be close to Trent in ownership.
They fucked it up. I mean,
They really fucked his price.
he's the highest owned forward in the game right now.
That's fair. That's fair, but it should be higher. It should be higher. He's insanely good. Like he's so good. He could be the best forward in the league this year. Like that would be very fine. Like that would be
wouldn't
fine.
be surprising.
And if that's the case, then that's a 12 million player. Like he could easily hit a 12 million like valuation this season. Not a stretch. Like that is 3,000 minutes. Like I kind of expect that.
Don't fuck us, Frank.
Yeah, Frank plays him in fucking.
Frank.
Frank plays him at left wing back.
Yeah, he
Alonso's not good
5
enough.
straight games. It's just like out of nowhere. Like okay.
But that's the other thing. It's like they're tailor made for him. Like they just go forward. They just attack.
Attack.
And he's
the pressing, everything he excels at perfectly.
He's going to be really fucking good this year. I'm really excited for that.
How careful should we be about Chelsea having 3 new attackers if Havertz gets wrapped up? Generally see players getting eased in, being bad with the complete overhaul of personnel.
I mean, if they get Kai, it's just good night. Like I'll probably have 3 attack. I just put Pulisic in or maybe Kai. Like I think that
I don't even know where does Kai even play. Like they have
it honestly, dude, bro, it doesn't matter. I mean, look at the names. Like, look at what they're up to. Like they're just putting world-class players on the pitch together. I get the betting in and it takes time and they're unknown quantities. Like, you look at all these other known quantities. Like I usually do agree with that, but with this case, I think it's another level. And, with Ziyech, like, right, like, obviously I fucking love him, like, fine. So I don't, like, guarantee he's going to be incredible. I just know that I watch him play and I feel like he's one of the best players I've ever seen in my life. And I don't care if that he plays against AZ Alkmaar or whatever. Like, even I watch him in the World Cup, I watch him in Champions League. Anytime I watch him, he's, like, the best player on the pitch to me. And, Werner, same thing. And they have Pulisic. Like, they have, like, Mount looks good. Like, Frank proved himself this year. Like, this is what I'm willing to risk it on Chelsea taking a big step forward into that top 2, top 3, that their players are priced like they're going to be 5-6. Like, they're like Spurs pricing, right? And I feel like they're good enough that they could take a leap into, like, the clear third best team behind Liverpool and City. And I'm willing to give that gamble and roll those dice like in game week 1 because I just feel like that's what I'm seeing from
their
them.
commitment to just like scoring 100 goals and conceding 60 goals is impressive. They're like 13, 14 Liverpool.
Dude, Havertz, he's so good. Like, it's insane if they get him. It's actually insane. And what they have right now is also insane.
It's like sort of like. Yeah, I mean, it's just perverse if they get him. That's really what it is. It doesn't make sense at all.
But even now, like Werner with Ziyech and Pulisic on either side.
That's what I'm saying.
Insane.
It doesn't make sense because they're fucking nuts now and can't defend for shit. Yeah. And they have just million superstars up front, and they just don't care. Frank just so there was some amazing. I think it was an Anka tweet or something. He was like, Lampard's playing as if like he's free to roam forward. As a player, he was free to roam forward, and other people had to clean up after him and like do all his defensive duties. And then he was like, "Oh wait," it's just like he's making like the Lampard team, like every player in the box, no defensive responsibilities whatsoever.
It's not wrong.
Not wrong. Mourinho's Illuminati again. He said, "This is only my second year playing, so I don't have much perspective. Are this year's prices lower than usual for the premium players? Feels like it from the chatter on here and Twitter and Discord. And does overall pricing being up or down for premiums impact the game strategy for you one way or the other?" Mm-hmm.
It's like I think a little bit of there's a lot of things with the prices. Like goalies are more expensive, right? So that's one thing. I think they're like maybe if we push goalies a little higher, that they can knock down the outfield players by like 0.5, because that's definitely been a trend, right? 2-3 years ago, there were like a lot of 4 or 5 goalies, like a lot.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
at least
like
there were
majority
around
of
like
the
10.
league. Yeah.
Yeah, and now there's like 3 or 4. I think there are 5, right? They're the 3 promoted, and then there are 2 more. I think Ryan and maybe someone else, but McCarthy and Ryan might be the only
something
ones.
like that. Yeah.
And so when you do that, like okay, that's an
Heaton.
admission. Heaton, sure, yeah. But when you bring the premiums like at the same position and they're all like within 0.5, it just means that if you're paying for that slot, that you have this clump, like this glob that you have to choose from, which is good. I think it's just it makes it less like tiered and light. Like before, I think like there were a lot of like there's always an 8-5 forward. There's always a premium forward, right? Like sometimes you'd have the cheap one. Like back when like Drew was in Arsenal, right? Like there was always like he was the 8-5 forward in Arsenal. Like and then there was like the premium, like Kuhn was 11 or RVP was 12 or whatever, right? And we had like all these different spots on our teams, like almost like premeditated that you had to have them in this price because you had to have one of these 3 or 4 players.
Yeah.
And now it feels like there's just a lot more variety, like because there are so many. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it goes hand in hand with the league, right? Just the league keeps getting richer and richer. All the best managers in the world keep coming. All the best players in the world keep coming, and there's so many guys. Like it used to be a much simpler game in that sense because it was just like, well, obviously I'm captaining Suarez every week because there's not even another option I would ever consider.
Yeah. And I mean the defense also too is kind of interesting because it seems like they're trying to put a lot of the same guy. Like this year, there are a lot of 4-5s, but last year they really weren't. Right? Remember, like we were having a really hard time.
Bad, yeah.
Yeah, they were bad. We were having a really hard time with 4-5s, and last year there were more like 5s and 5-5s, and this year the 5-5 bracket's actually pretty devoid. It's like there's Doc, and then I mean Dean at 6, right? But it's really just 5 million and under is the defense.
The
if you don't get,
kind of suck.
Yeah, there aren't that many.
Yeah.
But it's like you can, other than Trent, Robbo, and Van Dijk, right? You have Doc at 6, and then everyone else is 4, 5, or 5, pretty much. So that also gives you a lot more money to put in attack. If you go down there, you could be okay.
I mean, like on Discord, I saw a lot of people are just going Trent 3, 4, 5s and a 4-0.
And from Ferguson, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if that's that much different than years past, but it feels like this. Maybe it's just also an evolution. Like you're talking about, teams are better. They're just like more good players in the league.
Yeah.
But it does definitely seem now like that there's going to be a lot more variety. Yeah, it does seem like they're cheaper players, easier to fit players in and shit.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I have just in this tinker, which is whatever. I already want to make like 10 moves just after potting to this team, but I have fucking Kev, Raz, Kuhn, Werner, and like I didn't even struggle to get them all in my team. Like I don't remember years past of having like fucking 4, basically 10 plus players.
Yeah, and I think also this season 12 Mo and Mane are 12, right? Odds, and this is the lowest price that the most expensive players in the game's been like ever. I think like last year it was 12.5, before it was 13. Like it's always been more. Like that's a big deal too because. You want the best player, like you want the guy who's the most expensive. So if that's also down a half mil or a mil from normal, then that makes you, have more money to go elsewhere. So, I mean, having more of the good players is fun, right? Like that's also really what it's giving us. So that's awesome, I think.
Really fun. Yeah. That's it for questions, bro.
Okay.
Anything else you want to hone in on? Do you want to even go over our current tinkers? Because mine's just like
No,
all over.
I don't think that's
Yeah.
useful.
We
I
should
was
talk about
interested.
Ferguson. I'm curious what you think about Ferguson because when I was in Discord this morning and I was like, no, Ward is still the starter. I don't think Roy's going to like bench Ward. But everyone else apparently saying, like, according to Palace, whatever fans and FPL, they're saying Ferguson's the guy. Like, do you think he's going to start? Do you have
I
any
mean,
read on that?
that's the most unfounded thing ever. That's just ridiculous.
That's how I
But
feel. I'm just
yeah,
like, what are you talking about? Like,
I like I was saying on Discord earlier. To me, it's just preseason is going to be the thing, right? Like obviously, Joel Ward has his best years behind him, but we see Roy pay. We pay 100K for Max Mayer, and he doesn't play him for 2 years.
yeah.
So if Ferguson's not ready and he's not doing what Roy wants on the training pitch, then he's just fucking not going to play.
And I genuinely think Roy trusts and likes Joel Ward. I mean, like,
He does what he's asked. I mean, he
yeah, he
doesn't
does what he's
obviously can't
asked.
attack, but he doesn't like
Exactly.
make monumental fuck ups and whatever. But he's not good, so
No.
it's not going to take some world class right back to be like, holy shit, this player's much better than Joel Ward. But we don't know if Ferguson's that. We got him on a freeze really young. He could not start a game until game week 15. That wouldn't surprise me. But to me, for that one, it's just take a really close look at preseason, see what Roy's saying, because we want him. We want Ferguson to play. Like we want him to take the fucking job. Like Joel Ward sucks.
Yeah.
But it could easily not happen. So definitely.
No, I'm with you there. So
I mean, it's the same with like Cy Mitchell, right? Like if PVA is still fucked, I mean that's better to me because he's playing. There's no competition. He's actually he's first choice. So they're both 4. So that's even more interesting to me.
Yeah. I like that. Anything else we should talk about? I mean, it's kind
what do you think about the 4-5? Like we didn't talk about goalies at all, which I love talking about goalies. But what are you looking at there?
And Nyland in, and I haven't looked at it since. Just like first tinker, I was like, let me find a 4-5, and I was just like, yeah, okay, that's fine. I think Heaton is supposed to be fit, and if not, then that means Nealon's a starter, and you could go with like double 4-0 Villa keepers, which is cool.
That's perverse.
Yeah, that's cool. But I don't know. I mean, Villa, they turned my eye with that Project Restart defense. Like I didn't see that coming at all, and they were good. And honestly, Heaton is way better than like Pepe Reina at this point in his career, probably.
Heaton's really good. He's still really good.
So I don't know. That's just where
I'm still just worried about Dino just not doing the right thing.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. And starting to open up and do some mad shit, and they're just horrible again.
I think McCarthy's fine. We shouted him on the pre-cog pod. It's annoying that Gunn is 4-5, but
Guam.
I was looking at like Leeds maybe.
Meslier, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't even know who's first choice though, because Casilla played like the first.
Well, he's supposed to not be there. He's supposed to not be there anymore. Yeah, he's like did some racist shit.
Yeah,
he's supposed to be out.
So
Meslier just resigned.
Nazi salute, and he's just never leaving. So
no, he was just waving. He was just waving goodbye to his friends.
Calling over the Applebee's waiter.
Leeds. I still think Johnstone's interesting.
Johnstone. The thing that caught my eye particularly about Leeds is actually 2 things. One is that a lot of people hate them.
Yeah, why? Is that like an 80s thing or what's up?
Yeah,
like
it's
they used
rivals to be good, and all this shit. Because Discord, people are just shitting on them constantly in Discord, and I'm like, this is kind of weird. And then the other thing is when I was looking up the relegation odds, they're like very far from relegated. It's like here's in order: West Brom, Fulham, Villa, Palace, Newcastle, Brighton, Burnley, Sheffield United, Leeds. Sheffield United more likely, according to Vegas, to get relegated than Leeds. So I'm like, wait a second. Like, Bielsa is supposedly this genius. Vegas is reflecting that they're like probably a really good team. They were by far the best team in the championship, numbers wise and everything. I'm just like, oh, maybe they're actually like kind of good.
Maybe Leeds has like the most per capita gamblers anonymous meetings in UK or something.
That's also possible.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, that's also
It doesn't make
possible.
sense. Like you're talking
It's
about Sheffield
really weird,
United. Like
right?
it just doesn't make sense. It's not
Yeah.
logical.
I saw that and I was like, whoa, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. But
What
you
do
know,
you think about Ryan? I was looking at Ryan. I was like, I've never owned him before. I'm
they're
just
just
like,
so
is
bad at
that?
defending and I don't
But
know.
they're gonna run into just the whatever cleans, right?
With the
Or
whatever
no,
9 cleans or 6 the year before.
10,
Is that what
11.
you're
Yeah,
referring
like
to?
if they get like 10, if they get 9, 10, 11 in that range, like he's just as good as every other one. Do you think that's more like Villa are gonna have more or the Villa are better? I feel like Brighton are a
It's
good team. That's the thing. Like
possible.
they're like Brighton are good. You know,
Wait,
I feel like Brighton
when
are
did
good.
you start thinking Brighton are good? Because you always hate Brighton, I feel like.
I like I have a love hate with Brighton. I feel like that their on pitch performances are like
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I like the things. I just
Yeah.
hate them
They're
also.
very aesthetically pleasing. They're also very bad at defending with horrible numbers. I
They
mean, the
have
thing
such good individual defenders though. Like if they put
compared to
Lamptey
the other
over,
teams. Yeah, compared to
yeah,
the
like
other
that's
teams.
why
Yeah.
that's what I'm comparing him to the
They
other four
also
or
have
five
good
teams. I'm
like
like,
DMs and shit and fullback.
yeah,
Yeah. I
that's
mean,
why I just like why wouldn't they just luck into the things?
yeah. I mean, the thing that made me get him, remember he was fucking hauling like first
Because
third
he
of
was
the
getting the
season?
pass completion
The
percentage. He was
pass
getting all the
completion
baps.
bonus,
Yeah.
which could actually be a thing, because it's what's their fucking manager's name again?
Harry Potter.
I was about to say
Oh my
Southgate. Dude, I'm fucking high. I slept 2 hours. I woke up and FPL was up and I was fucking fucked. Yeah, I mean, it was only his first season. Like they could take a step forward, I guess, but they were just so bad. They were just so bad. Defensively, they
I
were.
I don't know, dude. I like the Brighton situation.
I mean, listen, Villa were way worse over the course of the season. They were just better in a small stretch at the end. So,
Because like I feel like Southampton, like they're so much more vulnerable on the counters, and I like
mm,
Brighton. I'm like I don't know,
because of
dude.
the
There's
press, you
something of
mean?
yeah. Like I think they have the high line. Like we'll see this like new kid they got, the Ghana kid, but
I mean, Brighton
like
are like a
betters and
really
shit.
shitty version of like City. It's like when they clean because of possession, not because of like
Or because of Ryan, because
stout
he's
defending.
actually a good shot stopper and
Well,
gets
sure.
like 11. He gets like 11 pointers when they clean.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
I don't know. Just chat. But Johnstone, interesting.
As long
They
as
don't
we
even have another goalie in the
I know I
game right
saw that. I
now.
loved that.
So good.
Yeah, no, as long as we spend 8-5 or less at the back, I'll be proud of both of us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even really care that much which one it is. Like
No,
that's the
I
other
don't
thing
care.
too is with those goalies, they're all going to be within like 10 points of each other. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and we're gonna get an incredible headache trying to pick which one, and it doesn't fucking matter at all.
West Brom, that shows you how much they rushed. Like they didn't even put Pereira, like they just didn't even fill the team.
I was looking for Sidibe is not in the game.
Is he not?
Yeah, there's some randos that just aren't in the game. Willian's not in the game.
Well, are they not like signed? Because did Sidibe go back on
Willian
loan?
is officially signed for Arsenal.
Yeah, well, that happened like today. But didn't Sidibe go back on loan, or is he? Do they have him?
I don't remember.
I
I
thought he
thought
went
they
back on
had him.
loan. I don't know. I thought he went back on loan
Fuck.
to Monaco or whatever.
Let me
I don't
look
know. It
it up.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, maybe
What
I'm
about
right.
the other thing we didn't talk about was the 4 or 5 defender spot at all? I mean, other than Vinag's,
Well,
obviously, we need to talk
Vinagre is
about him.
just Ruben Gonzalo Silva Nascimento Vinagre is just
It's pretty good.
he's just so nailed. It's just another mistake that we have to just punish
He should have been.
FPL
He should have
towers
been.
for.
He should have been 5.
Minimum 5.
No,
Minimum.
5 would have been fine. 5 would have been fair.
The reason 5 isn't fair is because there's no world where Johnny was going to be less than 5'5", and
Yeah, but I
tore
don't
his
think
fucking
Vinegar's the
ACL.
player. But he's not the same player. Like he's not that good.
But Johnny doesn't get attacking returns. We're not talking
well,
about a guy who gets like 7 assists and shit. Like he's just there. He's just good because Wolves are good for
okay.
FPL. I'm not talking about real life. And Vinagre is gonna get all those
Okay.
clean sheet points
Yeah.
that Johnny would get. So
Yeah.
and he's just so nailed. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous to not have him, frankly. I mean, in part of your preseason notebook was Burnley and Palace being predictable,
Taylor. I mean,
cleanly bad
all of
teams.
yeah.
Yep,
Burnley
Taylor.
has the fullbacks. They're all 4-5.
Yeah, Taylor's been nailed on my side.
What
Don't
happened with like Lowton didn't play last year, and then they had Long. Long was playing, right?
I got
No,
confused
I got confused.
because
Bardsley was playing.
they have Lowton and Bardsley, and they have
Bardsley was
Taylor
playing.
and Peters.
Well, Peter's playing mid.
Right,
Yeah,
and is also the backup left back. And
Peters is bad. Taylor's the pick there, right?
I think Taylor's the pick, safe
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah. Okay.
But then matching that with a Palace guy, maybe it's Mitchell, maybe it's Ward, not sure. Lamptey is 4-5.
It's tough. Everyone's hurt.
Lamptey's
Even like
4-5, I like him.
even like Webster and shit.
Yep.
But you like Lamptey there. I mean, Villa also it's like
Lamptey's
House and shit.
Actually sick attacking.
Yeah, he can get assists.
Yeah.
House like Villa has like the 4-5 like Target. Like they have the 4-5 guys. Leeds has like Dallas at 4-5 was a surprise, right? We thought he was going to be 5.
He should be 5. Yeah, usually
Ailing's 4-5.
Usually the super attacking fullbacks get the like 0.5 hike or whatever.
Newcastle has a 4-5 option. KWP on Southampton's attacking 4-5 option.
But I have Ben Davis.
Not Dyer?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my god, dude. Dyer takes the drug.
They're both so nailed.
Dyer.
But yeah, I mean 5-0, that was a precog thing, right? It was like
5-0
really
Spurs.
5-0 Spurs Mourinho team. It's really
start
cool.
every week.
Start every week guy. Yep.
Yeah. Dyer, I've been playing with Dyer here and there. I'm still just like all over the place with the price structure. I don't know what I'm doing, but Dyer. Yeah, Davis. Well, we have to see too. Aurier is the one probably 5-5 who is maybe a guy because he had 8 attacking returns last year. Like he could do better than that if he played 3,000. He could. Like he could be like a Robbo. He could do that.
Actually, could do that.
He could do like a 175 or a 180. I wouldn't be too surprised if he actually played every game.
Yeah.
And they came up to like 13, 14 assists, But they're talking about him leaving, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that thought process is. They have no other right backs, but
Aurier is definitely someone to think about, though, I think.
Yeah. And Ollie's 8, which was another, you were like a guy to keep an eye on, not start game week 1, but if he's support striker and he's 8, that's a fucking crazy price. Potential.
Yeah, but he still has an attacker on Spurs, You hate to see that. Wait, what about Doc? Are you? Because I'm like having a hard time with Doc. Because he's my existential crisis.
Yeah, Doc, I haven't fucked with him, to be honest. I have not fucked with him at all. He's still great, and there's absolutely no reason to like not have him, really.
Oh, there's like a new like row of things on the FPL page. When you click on their name, it says like their ICT thing compared to everyone else in the position. I don't even
know what that is. I just ignored it.
Well, Doc is threat 1 of 172, which I like that.
Threat gauges players who are most likely to score goals, part of the ICT index. So he's number 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trent's only 8.
Oh,
fucking
yikes.
Yeah. But he's 1 in all the other 3 things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, God. Doc is great.
Doc's great.
He's fucking
6. Great. I think that's underpriced also. I thought he would be 6'5".
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm gonna do so much tinkering tonight. Just from like talking with you for an hour. I'm just like, fuck, I want to try this.
Ziyech, dude.
Not sure if I'll have Ziyech.
You won't. Yeah, no, you won't. You won't. I'll have him. That's okay. I'll have him for both of us.
I think that's it, bro. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, we're good. I think we'll get out of here.
Yeah, and we'll have the actual structured preseason pods to come. So that's when we'll really get in there and shit.
And we're starting with premium?
Start with premium. Yep.
Okay. So we just have to figure out what the price is for premium.
Yeah, we'll talk amongst ourselves. Let me slap asses. We got a ton of new signups. Preseason, man. This is when everyone signs up, gets in their Discord. Best time to be in there.
And then they quit next month.
Yep. Patrick Marston, Martin Baker, Matt D, Jack Neal, Fergal Roche, Vincent Lashane, Hamfish, Midgame, Ben Monkman, Elliot, Daniel Ray, Blake, Matt Williams, Matt Chad, Jared Hughes, Jenko, and Ibrahim Khan. Get in there, baby. Let's go. Slap that ass. That's it from me. Any last words?
Oh, that's a good job by you.
Us. Oh! At FMLFPL.com. Follow us on Twitter at FML Discord. /FML. Subscribe, rate, review. Cheers!